I came across a post. What's the most innocent thing you did in your youth? A familiar profile picture replied. My girlfriend always liked to play with my backside. I was afraid of offending her. So I'd secretly spritz on my wife's perfume before every date. I didn't argue. I didn't cause a scene. I just quietly poured concentrated capsaicin into the perfume bottle. There. Now my innocent husband can be fiery hot too. When I saw that top-rated comment in the post, my whole world stopped. Not because the content was so shocking, but because the profile picture of the user named rowing against the current was so familiar. It was two hands, fingers intertwined. The man's thumb had a faint scar. The position, shape, and size were identical to my husband's, Liam Miller's. When our daughter, Chloe, was 2, she was especially mischievous. One time, she climbed the TV stand and fell, bringing a vase down with her. Without a second thought, Liam dove to cushion her fall. A shard of porcelain pierced his thumb deeply, and blood gushed out. He was in pain, but he smiled and called it his daddy's medal. I stared at that scar, a sliver of hope still flickering within me. Could it just be a coincidence? After all, there are so many people in the world who look alike. A similar scar wouldn't be that unusual. My heart pounded faster. With trembling hands, I clicked on rowing against the current's profile. It was empty. No posts. But I didn't give up. When it comes to investigating a cheating husband, every woman is a Sherlock Holmes. I opened his favorites folder. My brow furrowed. 100-point boyfriend moves. Tag your man. Advanced Kegel exercises for men. Results in 1 week. Is 25 the new 60 for men? Daily must dose to stay young. The best anti-aging style combos. Turn your dad bod into a hot bod. I scrolled through them, one by one. The more I read, the more I was convinced this was Liam. Because Liam had been acting very strangely lately. He used to be too lazy to even use moisturizer. But now he was secretly using my skincare products every day. He used to wear the same style of shirt over and over. But now he was actually studying fashion. And had even subtly changed his hairstyle. A few days ago, he even asked me, "Honey, am I getting old?" I had laughed at him then. A man at 40 is in his prime. You're just getting started. But he didn't laugh. He even seriously asked me about cosmetic procedures, wanting to know where to get reliable hair transplants and what treatments would make him look younger. I had asked him curiously at the time, "Why the sudden interest in your appearance?" He said, "The company's developing a new cosmetics line. I'm being forced to." And I actually believed him. Now, looking at these saved posts, it all made sense. When a man suddenly fears aging, it's highly likely he's fallen for a much younger woman. He's afraid he's not good enough for her. I clicked on rowing against the current's follow list. Among the few mutual followers, my eyes locked on a profile named No More All-Nighters. The IP address was the same. I clicked on her profile. The sickeningly sweet scent of a new romance hit me. The content was rich, and it made my stomach churn. Just a note. A certain older man was pretending to be all business in a meeting, but he was secretly tickling my palm under the table. When I glared at him, he even feigned innocence. After the meeting, he insisted I stay behind to organize the minutes. As soon as the door was locked, he wanted a hug, saying he had to be punished for not looking at him earlier. He's getting more and more clingy with age. Who understands the daily life of two people crazy in love? My older man is so cute when he's jealous. I just talked to a colleague for a little too long today, and he got all possessive, pulling me into his office. Blushing emoji. What's it like dating a daddy type? The answer is being spoiled like a daughter. I went to a business dinner with him, and while a bunch of executives were talking about multi-million-dollar deals, he actually remembered to order me a plate of sweet condensed milk buns. The whole time, he was dealing with clients with one hand and serving me food with the other. In the end, even the client couldn't help but laugh and say, "Did you bring a little kid with you?" Hee. What good man in his late 30s has this much energy? He drank too much at a dinner and insisted on hugging me and whining about how good and soft I smelled. And then in the car, 1,000 words omitted here. I scrolled numbly. Finally, I saw the post about the perfume. My fanfic-loving heart is finally fulfilled. I never thought my usually serious and super conservative older man would go this far for me. Crying emoji. He said he was afraid I wouldn't like it, so he makes sure to smell good for me every time we meet. That careful, Feeling is just so touching. Rowing against the current had liked almost every post. Fighting back nausea. I went through the entire account, from top to bottom, not even sparing the comments section, trying to find any clue about her identity. Unfortunately, there were no photos of her face, no personal information, only sickeningly sweet flirtations. But from the words she used, like office, business dinner, and colleague, I was almost certain. If rowing against the current was Liam, then this woman had to be his colleague. Her tone was childish and her behavior immature. She wanted to announce to the world how an older man was spoiling her. She definitely wasn't old. I quickly ran through all the young women around Liam in my mind. Liam was the director of the marketing department. He had a ton of young women working under him. Every one of them seemed like a possibility. Just as my mind was a chaotic mess, I heard the sound of a key turning in the lock. It was Liam. Liam came in humming a popular little love song from a recent viral video, a smile playing at the corners of his eyes. He seemed to be in a very good mood. I hadn't seen him like this in a long time. He walked towards me. A faint scent of perfume wafted from him. It was the gardenia perfume I had just opened a few days ago. I suppressed the churning in my stomach, my face a mask of calm. Honey, no overtime today. He pulled a bouquet of roses from behind his back. Sweetheart, did you forget? It's our wedding anniversary today. Then, like a child showing off a treasure, he pulled a velvet box from his pocket. Inside was a delicate diamond bracelet. Do you like it? I picked it out especially for you. I didn't look at the flowers or the bracelet. I just stared at him. That's strange. In 15 years of marriage, this is the first time I've seen you remember our anniversary. Why the sudden effort? I paused, my voice soft. Could it be that you've done something to wrong me and you're feeling guilty, trying to shut me up with this? The smile on Liam's face froze. A flicker of panic and unease crossed his eyes, followed by anger. What are you talking about? His voice suddenly rose, as if to cover something up. I was thinking of you, trying to surprise you, and this is how you react. Suspicious. Fine. Don't take it. He slammed the jewelry box onto the table with a thud. I watched him quietly. You're overreacting. Did I hit a nerve? Are you feeling guilty? Unbelievable. I can't talk to you. Liam's eyes darted away, unable to meet my gaze. He practically fled, grabbing his pajamas. I'm taking a shower. His retreating back screamed guilt. Soon, the sound of the shower started. I hurried into the bedroom. His phone was on the bedside table. I picked it up, my fingers flying as I unlocked it. I went through the chat history of every suspicious female colleague in his contacts. Nothing but dry work-related conversations. No inappropriate language. Not giving up. I checked all his shopping and food delivery apps. Nothing unusual. How could that be? For a moment, I started to doubt myself. Could it be that I had misunderstood? That rowing against the current wasn't him. The sound of the shower was fading. Time was running out. I couldn't think too much. I quickly put the phone back and returned to the living room. Sitting on the sofa, it was late. Beside me, Liam's breathing was deep and even. I stared at the ceiling, wide awake. My mind was replaying Liam's behavior over the past few months. We were each other's first love, married right after college. Now our daughter, Chloe, was 12. 15 years. A whole 15 years. We had always been the model couple in our circle of friends. The perfect love story everyone talked about. Liam's life was clean. Besides work, it was just me and Chloe. He had almost no female friends. His phone password was always my birthday. The screen was a photo of me and Chloe. I knew all his payment passwords. He had never been guarded with me, and I had never thought to check up on him. Until last year, when he was promoted to director of the marketing department. Overtime and business dinners became the norm, and his business trips became more frequent. But he always told me in advance. And when he was away, he would proactively share his location and photos of his hotel. He would even bring back little toys for Chloe. If it weren't for that profile picture, I would never have associated the word cheating with Liam. But there were no ifs. The scar was the same. The perfume was the same. The IP address of the account was the same. I couldn't convince myself it was all a coincidence. Fortunately, I still had someone on the inside at Liam's company. The next morning, I sent a message to Amelia, asking her to have lunch with me at the restaurant downstairs from Liam's office. She agreed immediately. Amelia was the daughter of Liam's childhood friend, David. Our two families were very close. We even bought houses in the same neighborhood. Although David was a few years older than Liam, he had entered the workforce, married, and started a family early. Amelia was a senior in college this year, worrying about her internship. Liam did her a favor and got her an internship at his company. You could say I watched her grow up. During the lunch break, I arrived at the restaurant early to wait. Before long, I saw Amelia jogging over, out of breath. Her face was flushed, a thin layer of sweat on her forehead. She wore a simple white dress, her high ponytail swinging back and forth, looking very youthful and energetic. "Auntie, I'm so sorry. Have you been waiting long?" She looked at the table full of food, her eyes wide with excitement. "Wow, sweet and sour pork, stir-fried shrimp, all my favorites. You're the best, Auntie." She picked up her chopsticks and took a large piece of pork. Chewing and fanning her tongue, she said, "Ooh, so hot." I managed a weak smile. "Eat slowly. No one's going to steal it." "How's the internship going? Is it smooth?" She wrinkled her nose, looking pitiful as she mumbled, "Ugh, don't even ask. Auntie, the company just took on a huge project, and everyone is going crazy. We're working overtime every day. Uncle Liam is so busy he's running off his feet. I haven't had a proper lunch in days." Hearing this, my heart sank. Could it be that Liam's recent overtime was really because of work? Was I just being paranoid? Amelia took a big gulp of juice and finally put down her chopsticks. "Auntie, you came all this way to see me today. Is something wrong?" I hesitated for a moment, then lowered my voice. "Amelia, at the company, have you noticed if Liam has been getting particularly close to any of the female colleagues, especially the younger ones?" She tilted her head, a thoughtful expression on her face. A few seconds later, she shook her head firmly. "No, Uncle Liam is very serious at the company. He's always so stern. Everyone's a little afraid of him. Who would dare to get close?" Seeing the serious look on my face, she seemed to realize something. "Auntie, why do you ask? You don't think Uncle Liam is?" She didn't say the word, but we both knew what it was. She said with certainty, "That's impossible. Uncle Liam is famous in the company for being a devoted husband. He's always talking about my wife, my daughter. So many of the female colleagues envy you." Looking at her innocent face, I couldn't bring myself to ask about the anonymous post. I could only force a smile and make an excuse. "No, it's nothing. I just thought he's been a bit different lately, so I just asked." Amelia immediately puffed out her chest and promised me, "Don't worry, Auntie. I'll keep an eye on things for you at the company. I won't let any bad women get near Uncle Liam." Looking at her determined eyes, my tense mood eased a little, and I smiled at her gratefully. "Okay, then I'll have to trouble you to keep an eye out for me after lunch." Amelia glanced at her phone and said cheerfully, "Auntie, it's almost time. I have to get back to work." I nodded, about to grab my bag and stand up. And that's when it happened. Just as Amelia turned, a waiter was walking quickly behind her with a tray. Amelia was caught off guard. Crash. With a cry of surprise, a whole glass of orange juice spilled onto her chest. The orange stains spread quickly. A complete mess. The waiter's face turned pale. He apologized profusely and frantically handed her tissues. I also rushed over, pulling out tissues to help her wipe it off. But as my fingertips brushed against her collarbone, my movements faltered almost imperceptibly. She was wearing a necklace. The pendant's design was unique. 2 intricately intertwined rings, encrusted with tiny diamonds. That design, I would never, ever mistake it. It was identical to the bracelet Liam had given me yesterday. I bit my lower lip hard, struggling to suppress the turmoil inside me, and pretended to casually help Amelia wipe away the juice. Ugh. This juice is so sticky. I can't get it off. Amelia clearly hadn't noticed my strange behavior. She was just looking at her clothes in frustration. "I know, Auntie. I need to go upstairs and change." I forced a smile. "Go on, then. Don't be late for work." She nodded and hurried away. It wasn't until her back disappeared around the corner that the calm facade I had been maintaining shattered. My legs gave out. I collapsed back into the chair, a wave of dizziness washing over me. The whole world was buzzing. I rummaged through my bag and took out the bracelet Liam had given me yesterday. I did an image search. The product information popped up on the screen immediately. Limited edition Confessions series Forever Love couple set. The bright red text seared my eyes. Purchase the main necklace and receive a matching women's bracelet as a gift. That short line was like a knife, twisting in my heart. How ridiculous. Liam's 15th anniversary gift was a freebie. He had put his true feelings around Amelia's neck. Everything fell into place. Amelia was Liam's little girlfriend. I had suspected every young woman around him, but I never imagined it would be Amelia. After all, we had watched her grow up. She was only 8 years older than my Chloe. How could that monster Liam do this? My gaze fell on my dressing table. It was lined with my collection of perfumes. I looked at them, a sense of absurdity washing over me, and I couldn't help but laugh. Liam used to always complain about them, saying the chemical scents were pungent and unhealthy. But now, to please his little girlfriend, not only did he secretly use them, but he even had to make that place smell good. What a pure love warrior. What a devoted older man. I laughed and laughed. Tears started to stream down my face. Then, a wave of nausea rose from my stomach. I ran to the bathroom and threw up violently into the toilet. Only when my stomach was empty and I couldn't throw up anymore did I weakly push myself up and splash cold water on my face. I looked at myself in the mirror. My eyes gradually grew firm. Since my husband was so innocent, how could I, as his wife, not fully support him? I picked up my phone and opened a shopping app. As I was scrolling aimlessly, a product link caught my eye. 99 High Purity Indian Ghost Pepper Extract. Colorless. Odorless. A household essential. Use with caution. 1 drop can make a grown elephant cry. Long-lasting effect. My eyes lit up. This was it. I quickly clicked on the product details. The customer reviews were very persuasive. Amazing. I put it on my underwear, and the pervert who was stealing them ended up in the hospital. He got a fiery surprise. Thank you, seller. I secretly put it on the showerhead, and the scumbag is now sterile. It really works. Anonymous review. The effect is incredible. It works wonders on terrible roommates. The whole dorm is so peaceful now. Powerful. Effective. I clicked buy without hesitation, selecting the fastest express shipping. But that wasn't enough. I also bought a few micro cameras. I installed them in various corners of the house. When Liam came home that night, he was carrying a steaming basket of soup dumplings. It was from my favorite old-fashioned shop, the one I used to have to beg him to make a detour for. Honey, eat them while they're hot. He looked at me with anticipation, being overly attentive for no reason. It seemed Amelia had already talked to him. And sure enough, for the next few days, he was the model husband. No more overtime. No more business trips. If I so much as glanced at a handbag, he would buy it for me. He even started doing chores. But the more he did, the more it proved he was hiding something. I played along, even showing a hint of being moved from time to time. Seeing that I wasn't acting strangely, Liam gradually let his guard down and started working overtime frequently again. Unbelievable. He couldn't even keep up the act for a few more days. I continued to monitor the No More All-Nighters account. I knew that this Saturday was his and Amelia's 1-year anniversary. It was time to give them a big gift. That night, lying next to Liam, I said casually, "Honey, I miss Chloe. I'm thinking of going to my mom's for a few days to pick her up." It was winter break, and Chloe was at my mom's. At this, a flash of joy crossed Liam's eyes. "Great. When do you want to go?" "Honey, I'll book your ticket right now." His voice was filled with an undisguised eagerness. I sneered inwardly, but kept my voice gentle. "How about this Saturday? Can you take me to the station?" "Of course. Of course. No problem." He pulled out his phone and quickly bought my ticket, as if he was afraid I would change my mind if he waited a second longer. "I got you a morning high-speed rail ticket, so you'll have plenty of time." He put down his phone, his face a mask of reluctance. Sigh. If it wasn't for a very important project this week that I absolutely can't miss, I would definitely go with you to pick up Chloe. "Honey, you have to come back soon." "Okay. I'll miss you." Watching his forced display of affection, my stomach churned again, but I still smiled. "It's okay. Honey, work is important. I'll probably only be gone for a few days. I'll be back soon." I took his hand, my voice full of concern and sincerity. "You have to take good care of yourself while you're alone. The thought of what was going to happen on Saturday made me incredibly excited. The day before I left, I stared at the perfume bottles on my dressing table, lost in thought. I didn't know which one Liam would use, so I decided to prepare them all. Good thing I had bought enough capsaicin. I unscrewed the cap of the first bottle and added the extract. I shook it, just as described, colorless and odorless, completely undetectable. Then the second bottle, the third. I didn't care if they were limited edition or collector's items. They all got a dose. After I was done, I carefully placed all the bottles back, wiping them clean to make sure there were no signs of tampering. What if the little girlfriend wasn't in the mood for that kind of play today? I thought for a moment and opened the bedside table drawer. I took out a syringe and added a little something to the box of condoms. It was their 1-year anniversary, after all, so I was giving them a fiery surprise. I hoped they would have a good time. Early Saturday morning, before the sun was fully up, Liam was already eagerly carrying my luggage and taking me to the high-speed rail station. Before I went through the gate, he put on a dramatic show, holding my hand and reminding me over and over, "Honey, be careful on the way. Message me when you get there. And come back soon." "Okay." I waved at him. "Okay, I'm going in." With that, I turned and walked towards the security check. About a minute later, I looked back. All I saw was Liam's back. His steps were light, almost skipping. All the reluctance from a moment ago was gone. I expressionlessly opened my phone and connected to the home cameras. The moment the screen lit up, I almost threw my phone, although I had expected them to get together. I never thought Amelia would be in my house before I even got on the train. On the monitor, she was making herself at home, walking straight into my closet and rummaging through my clothes. Finally, she pulled out a silk lace nightgown. It was a gift I had bought for myself last year for my birthday. I had barely worn it. She stood in front of the full-length mirror, holding the nightgown against her body, a triumphant look on her face. Unbelievable. So eager to take my place. I wonder what her father would think if he saw his daughter like this. Utterly disgusting. I left the ticket line, hailed a taxi, and sped back to my neighborhood. But I didn't go upstairs immediately. To bring about their downfall, I first had to let them reach the peak of their madness. I found a corner table at a coffee shop downstairs. The screen of my phone showed the live feed from my house. 5 minutes later, the front door opened. Liam rushed into the bedroom without even changing his shoes. "I'm back, my little vixen. Have you been waiting long?" He went straight to the bed and threw back the covers. Amelia, wearing my nightgown, was lying on her side in a seductive pose. Liam's eyes widened. "Baby, you look especially alluring today." Amelia immediately wrapped herself around him, her voice sickeningly sweet. "Uncle, tell me, do I look better in this? Or does Auntie?" Liam pulled her into his arms. "You little vixen. Of course you look better. Your auntie is old and washed up. Just looking at her makes me sick for days." Hee hee. The two of them eagerly tumbled together, their kisses loud and sloppy. The sheets were a mess. Amelia kept calling him uncle, uncle. As things were heating up, Liam reached for a condom, but Amelia stopped him. "Uncle today. It's my safe period." Her eyes were alluring, her voice seductive. "We can not use that." Liam's voice went up an octave with excitement. "Really? You're not lying to me, baby?" Amelia cooed and pressed herself against him. They started again, their movements even more frantic. I gripped my phone, my nails digging into my palm. The scene on the monitor was becoming unbearable, but I forced myself to watch. And I hit record. I went to David's house. It was in the same neighborhood, just around the corner. The moment I saw him, tears streamed down my face. I cried so hard I could barely breathe, my body trembling. David was stunned and quickly let me in. "Isla, what's wrong?" I grabbed his arm, my voice shaking. "David, Liam. He's locked himself in the bedroom and hasn't come out all day. I am afraid he's going to do something stupid." David's face instantly turned pale. "Do something stupid? Why?" "He's been stressed about work and hasn't said anything. We had a small argument." And then, I cried even harder. My words choked. "He's not answering his phone, and he won't open the door. What should I do?" "David, I'm so scared he's going to hurt himself." David quickly pulled out his phone and called Liam. As expected, only the cold, robotic voice of the voicemail answered. "Of course." I had used Liam's phone yesterday to block all of David's contact numbers. Now David was really panicking, sweat beading on his forehead. This is not good. We can't let anything happen. Without another word, he rushed out the door, yelling for some neighbors and the building security. A group of them stormed towards my house. They ran ahead. I deliberately lagged behind, covering my face as if to wipe away tears. In reality, I was secretly watching the camera feed on my phone. To be honest, I hadn't expected Liam to actually use my doctored perfume, but if I could catch them in the act, it would still be satisfying. But I never, ever imagined that this pair of dogs would be so much more creative than I thought. Liam and Amelia had just finished a round. The room was filled with a sensual atmosphere. Amelia's eyes were hazy. She traced circles on Liam's sweaty chest with her finger. "Uncle, let's try something different today." "Okay." She rolled off the bed and walked naked to the dressing table, swaying her hips as she rummaged through the bottles. The bottles clinked together. "Today, let me serve you." She picked up a bottle of perfume, her smile a mix of innocence and seduction. "I promise, you'll never forget it." Liam was clearly enjoying this. He chuckled and obediently rolled over, even arching his back in anticipation. Amelia aimed and pressed the nozzle. I had modified this nozzle. It now sprayed a stream of liquid like a small water gun. Squirt. A jet of liquid shot accurately into its target. HHH. Liam leaped off the bed with a blood-curdling scream. He frantically tried to cover his backside, but the intense burning sensation made him afraid to touch it. He contorted his body and rolled off the bed onto the floor. He kept wailing. My. It burns. It hurts so much. What is that stuff?" His earth-shattering screams were heard by David and the others who had just arrived. What was that sound? David was about to have a heart attack, thinking Liam had really done something to himself. At the right moment, I opened the front door with a trembling hand. My voice choked with sobs. "Quick, everyone, please, save my husband." The group surged inside. David was in the lead. He raised his foot to kick down the bedroom door, but the door was just ajar. He stumbled into the room. HHH. David let out a scream of his own. The people who followed him froze in place. They stared in disbelief at the scene before them. Liam was rolling on the floor, naked. I could clearly see that a certain part of him was swollen to a deep purplard, like a ripe, over-juicy dragon fruit. He was screaming in agony. "It burns. Help. It burns so much." Amelia was completely frozen in shock, naked on the bed, still clutching the perfume bottle. When she saw the crowd of people rush in, her hand trembled. Crash. The perfume bottle shattered on the floor. The splashing liquid landed squarely on Liam's dragon fruit. OWWAAHHH. Liam let out another gut-wrenching scream. His body arched violently, then slammed back onto the floor, his convulsions intensifying. Amelia scrambled back under the covers, only her terrified eyes visible. She looked at her furious father, her voice trembling. "Dad, how did you get here?" That single word, "Dad," detonated the scene. The crowd's expressions instantly changed. Shock, disgust, and mostly, a thrill of watching a drama unfold. Everyone simultaneously pulled out their phones. David's face turned a purplish red, the veins on his forehead throbbing. His eyes looked like they were about to pop out. "Liam Miller, I'll kill your entire family. I treated you like a brother, and you did this to my daughter." He completely lost it. He grabbed the wailing Liam by the hair and punched him in the face. "You animal. You're worse than a beast. I'm going to end you today." Punches rained down. Liam, already in agony from the capsaicin, was helpless. He could only curl up into a ball, letting out pig-like squeals. Amelia hid under the covers, trembling, not even daring to cry. Seeing that Liam was already beaten black and blue and barely conscious, I knew it was my turn. My voice was shrill, my cries dramatic. "Oh my God, Liam, are you even human? Amelia is just a child. How could you do this to her?" I rushed to the bed, threw back the covers, and grabbed her shoulders, shaking her violently. Amelia, tell Auntie. Did this animal force you? Did he? Don't be afraid. Tell us. Auntie and your dad will stand up for you." Amelia was completely terrified by the scene. looking at the disdainful gazes of the crowd and her father's murderous expression. Her lips trembled. Finally, her survival instinct made her choose the most self-serving option. She bit her lip, tears streaming down her face, and gave a weak nod. Dad, I was forced. That sentence made David's rage explode. Liam Miller. I'll kill you, he roared, his movements becoming even more frantic. He kicked Liam hard in the stomach, in the ribs. The kicks landed with dull thuds. I took the opportunity to rush forward, pretending to break up the fight. In reality, I was secretly getting in a few hits of my own. Stop it, David. Stop it. He's not worth it, I shouted. But my hands were scratching at Liam's body. My recently done, rhinestone-studded manicure was very sharp. In the chaos, I saw my chance, raised my foot, and ground it into his vulnerable area. OWW. Liam let out another gut-wrenching scream. His whole body convulsed as if he had been electrocuted. Then he went limp. He passed out, on the wet floor. A suspicious dark red stain was spreading. David was still relentlessly attacking him. Bastard. I'll kill you. In the midst of the chaos, I took a small step back and looked at Liam on the floor with cold eyes. I had only one thought. This feels so good. Outside the operating room, the doctor took off his mask, looked at me with a complicated expression, and sighed. The patient is in very bad condition. The corpus cavernosum is severely torn, and the anal region has suffered severe chemical burns from a strong irritant, with extensive mucosal ulceration. We did our best, but it's highly likely that both his front and back functions will be permanently impaired. Then cut them off. I took the surgical consent form and signed it without hesitation. After Liam was wheeled into the operating room, I went straight home. I poured all the perfume from my dressing table down the toilet. Finally, I pressed the flush button. Whoosh! All the evidence was gone. Only the lingering scent remained. A few days later, Liam woke up in his hospital bed. He was groggy and instinctively reached down, but all he felt were layers of thick gauze and an unsettling emptiness underneath. He froze, his pupils constricting. My. He lifted the covers with a trembling hand. The moment he saw what was underneath, the last bit of color drained from his face. After a few seconds of dead silence and despair, HHH, a desperate scream echoed through the hospital room. Impossible. This is impossible. He went completely insane, flailing his arms, the monitors beside him clattering. I walked in slowly. The moment he saw me, his eyes were murderous. It was you. You did this, didn't you? What did you do to me? I was even angrier than him. I pointed at his nose and cursed. Liam Miller, are you even human? You played with fire and got burned, and now you dare to blame me. Don't you know what you used to get yourself into this mess? I didn't give him a chance to breathe and continued with a cold laugh. Oh, by the way, David reported you to the police for assaulting Amelia. You can explain it to them. I wasn't afraid of him suspecting me at all. Perfume contains alcohol, and irritation is normal. With his level of intelligence, it would take him a while to figure out I had added something to it. Sure enough, he froze, a look of confusion on his face. It really wasn't you. I pulled out the divorce papers I had prepared and threw them in his face. Liam Miller, I have nothing more to say to you. I want a divorce. Just then, the hospital room door was pushed open again. This time, it was two police officers in uniform. The moment Liam saw them, he panicked. To prove his innocence, he showed the police all his chat logs with Amelia, their intimate photos, transfer screenshots, desperately trying to prove it was consensual. Great. Adultery was now confirmed. There's no such thing as a secret that can be kept forever, especially with so many people witnessing the scene that day. The videos were quickly uploaded online. Company director and intern's anniversary celebration goes up in flames. Shocking office romance between man and his best friend's daughter. The stories went viral, one after another. The entire internet was gossiping, treating them like a joke. Liam's company reacted quickly and fired him, also planning to sue him for the significant damages his personal conduct had caused the company. Meanwhile, Amelius University also issued a swift announcement, citing serious violation of school rules and regulations. With extremely negative social impact, they expelled her. A diploma. Not a chance. Liam was completely ruined. lying in the hospital. His career and body were destroyed, his reputation in tatters. And yet, he still had the audacity to beg me to take him back. The last time I went to the hospital, as soon as I walked in, he rolled off the bed with a thud, knelt before me, and clung to my leg, refusing to let go. He was crying, snot and tears covering his face. Honey, I was wrong. I'm not human. I was possessed. Please, just give me one more chance. Just one. I have nothing now. All I have is you and Chloe. Chloe is still so young. You can't let her grow up without a father. I promise. I'll be a good husband from now on. I let out a scoff, slowly pulled my leg away, and dusted off my pants as if they were dirty. You must have bad internet reception back in your hometown. Want me to help you out and send the news links to your family group chat? Make you a local hero. Liam was the first college graduate from his village, the hope and pride of the whole town. At this, his face turned ashen. Don't tell them. Please. I need to think. In the end, Liam still refused to sign the divorce papers. He was determined to drag it out with me. But I wasn't afraid. While he was in the hospital, I had already changed all the locks on the house and moved out overnight. I had also hired a divorce lawyer. The evidence of Liam's affair was solid. The divorce was just a matter of time. But before the court date, something happened to Liam. The day he was discharged, just as he was standing by the road waiting for a car, a black sedan came speeding around the corner. It aimed for him and slammed into him. Crash. A loud bang. Liam was sent flying, landing heavily on the ground, and didn't move. The driver was David. After he was arrested, his eyes were lifeless. He only said one thing to the police. He ruined my daughter's life. I don't want to live anymore. Before I die, I have to take that animal with me. When the police called to inform me, I was drinking coffee. I listened, paused for 2 seconds, and then said very sincerely to the officer, "Thank you for your hard work." After hanging up, I couldn't help but laugh out loud. Great. No need for a lawsuit. I was now a widow, and I would legally inherit everything, plus a huge life insurance payout. It was as if even God couldn't stand it anymore and had to take out the trash.